Two.
Good morning, JT.
How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing? Thank you. How do you see AI transforming entrepreneurship and wealth building in the next 1 to 3 years?
Well, as we're doing this, my CEO is on here and she's on an AI call.
Mhm.
Um, I think for me, AI is the most transformative thing. It's actually one of the most exciting things I've ever done in my life. People say you've been on stages as I have as well, right? Red Bull and recently with Chris Jenner and Charlie Sheen, all these billionaires in LA, right?
Yeah,
And you go in. Were you in Australia on the Sydney Opera House? I forget.
I wasn't. No,
Okay,
no.
yeah, that was a hell of a moment to be able, like, that's actually one of the highlights of my life to speak at the Sydney Opera House because I never thought I would. But um, there's a thrill of being on stage, right? And the energy of a crowd. But because I think I've done it so many times all over the world in 56 different countries, I think now for me, the idea of being on my laptop, which I have my laptop here, right? And I'll open it up and then I'll literally like basically create. Let's see, go here, right? So I'll basically go in here and just create so I'll look to here. Now, basically create things, right? In AI. And then like this notion of like creation and what it does. And to have created the most powerful business AI in the world, and then you use it a lot because your usage is through the roof. We're losing money every time you use our AI, but I'm glad you're using it. It's made life a lot easier because if you go to someone like yourself, say, okay, create a landing page, a copy, you wouldn't know what to do, or create me a post. Oh, I don't do posts, or create me a script for video. AI does everything, and you just got to talk to it. And the more information you feed it, I think the better it's going to be. And I think that's what people don't understand about that. I think people are treating it the same way when websites came out or social media came out, and just not a fad, but just something that's not important because I think people are too busy being busy. And you have always been an innovator yourself into forward thinking, into branding. And also AIs help you reinvent yourself because when you first came to me, the topic you were doing, you realized that yes, it's an important topic, right? For example, helping women who have gone through divorce to get back on their feet. But what you realize is to market to those people is much harder. So even though it's a good idea, sometimes it's a better of like you meet someone, you find out the divorce. Oh, okay, we have this, right? As opposed to trying to market that for cold traffic because you are fishing with a pole rather than
Yeah,
fishing with a net. And now, obviously, you've become an authority in branding, helping people, doing amazing stuff, getting invited to Raya Bocelli's house that you and I have gone to. So you've done a good job in building a brand in a very, I mean, you're from Toronto. I live in Toronto. I used to live in Toronto as well. A Canadian thing. I mean, you're British by nature, but it's not a very Canadian thing because the Canadians are afraid of being compared to an Americans, but it's just all about branding. Many people here are watching this podcast and you are amazing, just not enough people know about you. And in your case, right, people like know you and you are respected and revered and have impressed people from all over the world. And obviously very consistent with your social media. And that's what AI does. I mean, it just amplifies your greatness.
absolutely. Absolutely. What's the biggest challenge, JT, you foresee entrepreneurs integrating AI in traditional industries?
It's a great question. I had that yesterday. So those who are part of the 3699 AI, and I know you are, it's a free club that I put on AI. And this woman says, you're going to try to implement AI. Let's say you try to implement AI employee, right? And it
Mhm.
doesn't work at first. Like right now, my team, there's a certain element of the technology that's not working. The techs want this, the other people doing that, and it's not working the way. And everyone's arguing. And yesterday was such a hard day. The temptation is like, "Fuck, I need this and quit. And, now everybody is, 6 a.m. in the morning trying to figure out the call on
Right.
how to make it work. And I think instead of saying like, it's just so easy to, I tried, I didn't work, right? As
Yeah.
opposed to let's try again. And some of the greatest ideas didn't work. I mean, take a look at anything from Elon Musk and rockets in space to blowing up to the car, Tesla, it never works the first time. Although there are things I did work for the first time, like the nine-figure brain. I just kind of created it and then it just worked the first time. But every other brain I've had to work very hard at it, including the super AI intelligence brain that may be launched by the time people watch this, which is I think the smartest business brain ever. You just don't know. Yeah, so like anything, it just I think it's that willingness to like that obsession of improvement.
Exactly. And I mean, the tools that we have accessible with the brains, it's just incredible. And I just can't wait as to what is going to come with a Power of Five brain. It's just going to be amazing. So, JT, managing 84 companies and brands, how do you?
The truth is actually 157. I found out from my accounting department. But let's just call it 84. It sounds better. So.
Okay, no, I think 157 sounds better. So I'm going to
I
stick to
actually
that.
doesn't. It sounds depressing. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll just have like my bobblehead, which was a gift. I didn't buy this. You know what I mean? And maybe I might have my bobblehead take over, which I don't think it looks like me, but I like this one. I like this one. This that reminds me of the business's war. I'll put it right on top
That's
of my
right.
thing. That's it. But maybe I should duplicate myself in bobbleheads.
Oh, wow.
You're
And,
probably the first
but
one I ever did a bobblehead on a podcast. So.
it is so cool. But managing 84 companies, 157 companies. How do you, in essence, manage time? How would you put the energy and time and what goes into all the brands and the companies that you manage? I mean,
Well,
it's just
it'd be no different
extraordinary.
as how do women, let's say, have three kids or two kids, or some I know have five, right? How do they manage all these kids, all the sports, all their schools, all the breakfast and lunch, take care of their husband, take care of what they need to take care of, and some even work. So I think being, because you can't fire your children, apparently, but you can fire your employees or get rid of your business, right? And so just like I can't afford to fail because, I have people depending on me, clients depend on me, partners depend on me. Um, Even though I don't have to and I could just easily quit. I don't want to, and I think that's just in my DNA. Quitting has never been my DNA. And somehow it always kind of works out in the end if you don't quit because you never lose till you quit. So, I mean, today is a 14-hour day of, well, it's actually longer. I mean, I got up at like 2, my first meeting, like by accident, I woke up and they're like, oh, we need to have an emergency meeting. And so basically, I've been on call since like 4 a.m. and my day is going to end at like 7, and then I got a business dinner, and then there's a huge storm coming through and this weekend, and now there's like, okay, so now it's like I have to have a calls tomorrow about, okay, some of the properties and what's going on and what do we need to do, what do we need to make sure, and then freezing and how it's going to affect and power. I'm flying to Atlanta because I'm going courtside. I have a bunch of AI meetings. I'm meeting the owner of the Atlanta Hawks and they're going to the game. And I looked at the flights and then look at the weather and knowing Nashville is they don't like really clean streets and stuff like that. So I'm gonna take the last flight. That means I have to leave at halftime, not the full game. I bring two of my clients with me. So all this was not on my bingo card. It's kind of new term I use. So it's like it's not on my bingo card. And but such as
But
life. Like I think it's part of the unpredictableness of life and the entrepreneurism. And just like I didn't know I was going to be on this podcast with you, but I accept it because it's you, and I'm glad I'm on it. And you know what, everybody, just listen to Alka, get branded, and listen to what she says because there's very few people who have built a closer relationship. And you flew to Nashville just to have breakfast with me and flew back. So that's what makes you very special. And I'm so happy to have been on your show. And with no hesitation, I'll be on your show anytime you want me.
thank you so much, JT. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Alka.